Hey everyone, I am Bean from the channel Bean and Bagel. Normally my wife and I, we talk about food on our channel, and we post videos 1 to 2 times a week if you're interested in following the channel. Today, however, I am talking about how to turn this into this. And I've always been athletic in my life, involved in sports and whatnot, and when I was younger, I didn't have to use anti-inflammatories or muscle balms, but as I've gotten older, I've noticed that I get more and more what I call elderly ailments, and so I have to look for muscle balm and pain meds and that kind of stuff. And there are two that I have found most effective as far as muscle balm goes. And the first one is Spyder CBD, and the other one is Tiger Balm. I do also think that Icy Hot is effective, but I don't like the odor of Icy Hot. It's a little too strong for me. And Tiger Balm actually doesn't make a roll-on, and it's a little cheaper than Spyder. So I was like, man, how can I find a way to turn this into a roll-on? You know, because I did the research and tried to find it online to see if Tiger Balm made one, and to my knowledge, they don't make one and I can't find one. So I decided to open up my creative juices, I guess, and see what I could do. Plus, I don't like greasy hands and, you know, lotions and stuff like that. As far as the film and stuff it leaves on your hands, you know, I still use lotion and all that kind of stuff, and I'm open to it, but I don't prefer it. So I wanted to find a way to make a roll-on Tiger Balm. So how did I do it? Basically, I needed a candle warmer. And you want to preheat the candle warmer for about 20 minutes. The next thing that you'll need is an empty deodorant container. You can find these online and at various places. Shout out to Dove. This is an old one that my wife let me use when she was done. You can use round ones, deodorant ones, whatever you prefer to use. The only thing that you want to be sure of is if you do use an old one, that you rinse it out thoroughly with hot water and then you let it dry completely before you continue. The other thing you want to be aware of is the size of the container, because Tiger Balm here is 1.7 ounces. The container that I used here is 2.7 ounces. And all you math whizzes out there, you know that that's off. I used too big of a container, and that ended up being more work than I really wanted to sign up for. Because I had to use 2 cans of Tiger Balm. So if you want to avoid that issue, what you can do is get a travel size deodorant container, because those vary between half an ounce to 1.7 ounces. And if you get one that's 1.7 ounces, that matches the can of Tiger Balm, because like I said, that's also 1.7 ounces. From there, I took the lid off of the Tiger Balm container. The reason I did that is because it's hot, number one, and when it becomes a liquid, it's harder to take that lid off and preserve the Tiger Balm that's in there. So you want to try to preserve as much as you can when it becomes a liquid instead of it spilling and whatnot, to get the most out of it. And in order for it to become a complete liquid, it took me about 15 minutes or so. And you do want to make sure that you wait and let it become a complete liquid. Another thing that I did is this lever that's on the bottom of deodorant or any container that you're going to use. You want to make sure that that lever pulls that plate that's inside all the way to the bottom. There's a plate in there that controls when it pushes the deodorant or balm up and down the container. And you want to make sure that plate is at the bottom before you pour the liquid in, because it will be most effective that way. From there, I grabbed a baking funnel from my wife's kitchen, and she was nice enough to let me use it. but I probably owe her one now because it smells like Tiger Balm, even though I've tried to soak it and soap it and clean it, and I'm not sure if I can get that odor off of it, so I probably owe her one now. So keep that in mind if you borrow one from your spouse. But yeah, I mean, from there, you just want to put on some protective gloves, because like I said, the tin gets hot and you won't burn your hands that way. And you pour the liquid inside the container. One thing to remember when you pour the liquid in the container is that there is a rod that is stationary inside this container, and that is part of that lever mechanism that controls that plate that I mentioned. That rod you can use as your reference point for how much you want to pour into the container. You'll pour the liquid all the way above that rod is what will work best, or that's what's worked best for me. And then, yeah, that way you have a reference point. After you've poured in the liquid, you basically want to let it cool for about an hour or two. The more time, the better, in order for it to become a complete solid. And you do want it to become a complete solid before you start doing anything. You don't want the liquid to get down into this lever mechanism. So if you start messing with it before it completely sets, it's not gonna push it up and down the way you hope. So just be patient with that part of it. Just set it somewhere after you pour it in the container, and just leave it alone. The more time, the better. And you'll know when it's a solid because it will look like that. It looks like deodorant. So if you've used deodorant, which I hope you have, then you'll know what I'm talking about. The last thing that I'll mention is just that if you want to be more creative with this, you can, of course. And what I mean by that is you can go beyond using a deodorant container. You can also use a chapstick container if you want like a small on-the-go kind of thing. The reason why is because, they're smaller. It can get in hard-to-reach spots. You can have it on the go. And, like if you're a runner or a hiker, or like me, I did search and rescue, and you have like first aid kit and a backpack and everything. And you have to minimize as much as you're carrying. And if you put it in one of those little containers, I mean, that won't take up a lot of space. And it could be nice to have in like a first aid kit or something if you're always out and about. Plus, even if you use a travel size, like you could fit that in a purse or a pocket or something. But like, I don't like big things in my pockets. I have enough in my pockets with my wallet, keys, phone, and whatever else we put in our pockets. The travel size thing might work for a purse and be convenient, but I don't wear a purse. So the little chapstick thing is convenient for putting in your pocket. Anyway, that's my video for today. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them to you in a timely manner. But otherwise, have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video.